boy. Things have gone from bad to worse, guys. I called this rock bottom on X, but then I remembered that the Raptors play the Pistons next week, so that could be the official rock bottom. But this is pretty close to rock bottom. Absolutely embarrassing loss by the Toronto Raptors. Just inexcusable, really. Things were going well. Vibes were high. Looked like Scotty Barnes was about to set a new career high for most points scored in a game. Raptors cruising, flying high, could do no wrong. And then they completely collapse in the fourth quarter. The Utah Jazz erase a 17-point lead and beat the Raptors 126-119. This was deja vu all over again. Remember, the Jazz had a come-from-behind victory against the Raptors in Toronto last year, or last season, beginning of this year. And the Raptors getting outscored 41-21 in that fourth quarter. They completely just fell apart. Scotty Barnes, who, like I said, was cruising, having a great game, barely getting touches in that fourth, finally scoring late in the fourth. And the Raptors just had no answers for Markkanen, who had 30. Clarkson was huge. He had 30 points from off the bench, 4 3-pointers, 11-22, plus 19. He caught fire late. And this is just as bad as it gets for the Toronto Raptors, who now fall to 11-18, 8-9 at home. They've lost 3 games in a row, and this was the worst way for them to send themselves into their mini Christmas break. At home, giving their fans this type of a showcase to end what has been a disastrous first part of the season for the Raptors. As Scotty Barnes is 32-point, 14 rebounds, 7 assists, performance spoiled. 1 point shy of setting that new career high. Couldn't even get that. Barnes, like I said, barely touched it in the fourth. Did get a bucket late, but it was too little too late. This is just as unacceptable as it gets. OG Anunoby did have a nice bounce back game. He had 19. Siakam had 19. Pirtle struggled, 1 of 4, 2 points. Schroeder struggled again, 4 of 9, 11 points. Gary Trent Jr. continues to string together some nice performances. It's good to see him get his groove going. 16 points. Boucher had 9. Achua had 8. But how on earth did the Raptors lose this game? This is just unbelievably bad. As, the Raptors, like I said, they were just playing so well. It looked like this was going to be, a win. They've just had some very, very bad losses in the first 29 games here. And this is the worst one. There's no way to sugarcoat it. The Raptors led by 17 with 17 minutes to go and lost by 7. The Raptors went cold when it mattered, and then the Jazz caught fire. There's not a whole lot of good things to take away from this team other than Scotty Barnes. This is just a poorly constructed roster. This is a team that can't put it together for a full game, for full quarters. And this is a team that continuously finds new lows. And this was just a prime example of that. It's not going to get any easier. They got the Wizards coming out of the mini break, but then they got the Celtics, they got the Pistons, they got a bunch of games on the road. And right now, the Raptors have the 7th worst record in the NBA. And I said it on X. The Grizzlies won tonight, by the way. They got Ja Morant back. The Grizzlies are going to be a lot better. They're 3-0 with Ja back. So what I'm trying to get at here, guys, it wouldn't be the worst idea in the world for the Raptors to bottom out to keep their 2024 first-round pick, which is top 6 protected, which means if it's within the top 6, the Raptors keep the pick. If it's outside of the top 6, the Spurs get it. You look right now, it's not unlikely to think that the Raptors could very well finish with one of these 6 worst records in the NBA. And the Raptors just continue to fall further and further away from playing contention. When you see them lose these types of games, it's not really a point to compete and try to get one of those playing spots when you know you're not competing on any level in the grand scheme of things. So, it might be time officially for the Raptors to make a big trade, officially signal for a rebuild, lose a bunch of games, bottom out, keep that pick, and just officially start this rebuild around Scotty Barnes. This just falls on management at this point, that this is just a poorly constructed roster and something's got to give. And with all of these bad losses piling up, there's got to be a final straw. And If it's not tonight, maybe it's maybe it's going to take another loss against the Pistons to finally steer management's way of changing the direction of this franchise. Because right now, as is, it ain't it. And it's an embarrassment for those fans that paid their hard earned money to watch that product as it unfolded. A team that just completely fell flat on their face and lost to one of the worst teams in the NBA in the fashion that they did. No words. Just absolutely embarrassing. Enough said. So the Raptors going to have a couple of days to sit with this one going into the Christmas break. It's not going to be a jolly Christmas for them. They're going to be back in action on Wednesday, and we'll see what happens. I mean, this is on management's watch right now. This thing doesn't look like it's getting any better, and until a significant change is made, seems like that these problems are going to keep on coming up for the Raptors. So, guys, let me know your thoughts. Do you agree with my take that the Raptors should bottom out at this point? Let me know. Drop a like, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell. And yeah, it's a shame. I'll say one last thing before I sign off here. It's a shame because Scottie Barnes truly had a remarkable night, and I really wanted to make this all about him. And, don't let this take away from Scottie Barnes being special, but this is just a sour loss that put a little cloud over his performance. So that's it for me. It's Lucas signing off. As always, thanks so much for watching, guys. Hit a like and subscribe on your way out. I will catch you all again in the next one. Until next time, stay safe.